Each weekend, ABC 10's Walt Gray catches up with a CalMatters journalist about the biggest political stories of the week. Here's Walt with more.
Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week, reporter Emily Hoeven, political expert for CalMatters.org. So, Emily, the indoor mask mandate rollout, people not required to wear them anymore. What's going on in terms of students? This has been kind of pushed back till Feb 28. What happened there?
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting because, the governor and his administration have for weeks now been hinting that there's going to be this really big announcement around school masking and, when that might move from a mandate to a strong recommendation, as they're saying. And then the governor's top health official this week came out and said, yeah, so we're actually going to just reevaluate everything. We're going to, kind of come to an announcement that may happen on February 28th. And a lot of political people are kind of mumbling about maybe this is giving them time to negotiate with the teachers unions over, moving this requirement. But what I think is important to know is that both Newsom and his health official have stressed that even if the statewide mandate does lift, they are still going to allow local jurisdictions, whether that's the county or the district, to make rules that are stricter.
Another thing that popped up this week was the San Francisco School Board recall. And if I have this correctly, 3 members were recalled for being too liberal in San Francisco. What does that say about where the direction of not only the city is going, but the state?
Parents were really frustrated that the school board was not prioritizing their kids, not prioritizing kids' education, not getting them back in school, instead of focusing on other issues like renaming schools tied to, politically potentially controversial figures, including Abraham Lincoln, even though kids weren't even in school. And so I think what it really was a mandate to kind of resonate throughout California that, hey, if you are not listening to parents' concerns, whatever they may be, you are at risk of getting kicked out of office.
Okay, to the governor, not that he's in any danger of not being reelected, but the most recent poll came out and it had to be a little bit troubling for the governor and his staff that he's gone from 64 to 48% approval rating in a very short period of time. What happened?
Well, what's really interesting too is that we are seeing an uptick in discontent among, Democrats, Democratic voters, moderate voters, Latinos, Asian Americans, and so I think that definitely is troubling for the governor. And what I think was driving that is that you saw in the poll that a lot of Californians, vast majorities, are very concerned about homelessness and very concerned about crime. And I think what that is saying is, again, these elected officials are not making people's day-to-day lives better. They feel scared going out of their homes. They walk out, they see encampments, they hear all these stories about people, getting attacked. And I think, again, heading into these elections, it really is going to be a wake-up call for Democrats. Like, hey, you're going to have to address these 2 key issues. And as we've talked about before, Walt, there are a lot of Democrats already sort of starting to embrace this tougher on crime, tougher on homelessness rhetoric, which I definitely think is in response to this very visible discontent on those 2 issues.
Yeah, we saw that recently with both the mayors of San Francisco and Oakland seemingly saying, hey, we need some help corralling crime in our cities. Okay. Emily, thank you. CalMatters is a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.